So I want to talk to you about a very interesting argument in physics. The argument is this: can you predict the outcome of any process in the universe by knowing the starting conditions using the laws of physics? You can know the starting conditions to any accuracy. Now, first of all, even if you could, it would be thermodynamically impossible because you can't predict something perfectly with something smaller than itself. But most people argue that no, you can't, because if the universe were deterministic, consciousness and free will would be impossible. But I argue that in a fully probabilistic universe, consciousness and free will are also impossible. And I also argue that the universe is somewhere in between, which is why consciousness and free will can exist. Because if you break the universe down to its most fundamental processes, they can be either deterministic or probabilistic. But at a more complex level, things can act somewhere in between, which the probability and determinism keep each other in check. Furthermore, there are certain processes, like radioactive decay, that are inherently random, like radioactive decay, photon emission, thermal energy, that kind of thing. But there are some processes that are inherently deterministic, like at a large scale, very solid objects will act almost completely deterministically, which is why scientists can make such accurate celestial predictions. Another good example of this is the uninterrupted path of a singular photon in a vacuum. In order for consciousness to exist, there has to be both random processes and deterministic processes, because there has to be something influencing the determinism, which is the probability, so that you can make a decision without violating the laws of physics. But in order to make sure that the decision wasn't made randomly, there has to be determinism influencing the probability. So they essentially keep each other in check, which allows for things like consciousness and free will to exist.